Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Today is the 9th of June, year of our Lord 2020-2025. Welcome to yet another edition of the Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Hinkle, aka Motan Noah. I got a little confession here up at the top of the show. What's up, Internet? I got a confession. Dave Grohl style. Only it's not that I am committing infidelity. Dave Grohl style. It's just sort of Foo Fighters style. I have a confession to make. I'm taping this in the middle of the game again. In the middle of the NBA Finals. I think this is the... I think if Oklahoma City versus Indiana game 1 of the NBA Finals was the Haliburton game, even though he was honestly, more than anything, he was fine, I guess, for the entirety of the game, but he hit the shot at the end of the game. It was the Haliburton game, right? I think game 2 will be the, I can turn this off game. Oh, okay. It's the get back game for Oklahoma City. So I'm taping this in the middle of the third quarter. Oklahoma City is up by like 20 damn points. It went to commercial, and I was like, okay, I think this is the one that I'm safe. But I do reserve, this is similar to what happened in the previous episode. I do reserve the right to, it's not like change my mind or anything, because anything that I would say would still end up being true if Indiana makes this comeback. I don't think it's going to happen in this one, though, so we're taping the show early so that I can get to bed at a normal time and then wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning with a 1-year-old. Okay, folks, let's talk about it like the game is actually over, because for you listening to this, it is, and Oklahoma City ended up winning by like 100 damn points, right? It didn't end up being close. Okay, all right, I'll stop talking about that, and I'll just actually do the segment. So, Oklahoma City has their little get-back game, tie the series up 1-1, going back to, it's not Bankers Life Fieldhouse anymore, going back to Indiana. Did you at home, watching game 2 of the finals, did you consider it a must-win game for the Thunder? Was it more must-win for the Thunder or more can't lose for the Pacers? You get what I'm asking there? But the first question is the main one, right? And I ask it because the whole day I've been, chewing on it, and I'm, okay, game two. What are the stakes? What are the narratives? And I kept coming back to this must-win thing for Oklahoma City. And what's crazy is I just don't think that it was, even though the environment in Indiana is pretty hostile, and going there in the NBA Finals down 0-2 would be a pretty steep hole to climb out of. But it's like, is there really a team in the NBA other than Oklahoma City that you would pick to climb out of that hole? I mean, the truth is you the only other team that you might conceive to think of would be the Indiana Pacers. But in this instance, you can't, because they're up by 2 games. Nope. Don't even need to entertain the hypothetical, because Oklahoma City was like, oh yeah, if we wanted to, could have won 70 games this year. We won, I think, 64 of them. We have the MVP. We have the best player in the world. Not the best player in the world. Well, this season, I guess. I don't know. That's what the MVP means to me, is who's the best player in the world this year. I guess that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We also have the best defense in the NBA. We're also at home. So this one's ours. We're going to take this one. At the risk of saying the same damn thing I've said about Oklahoma City for the last 2 weeks, I just think it's cool when a team is, although I did say this during game 1 and then they ended up losing the damn game. But when a team, understands not like what the expectation of them is, because they have, whatever a team's expectation. I don't even want to make this point. I'm losing myself. Good for Oklahoma City. If you're wondering why in the first 2 minutes of this segment I seem a little bit bullish on really saying anything about Oklahoma City, is because I did identify in game 2, I guess I'm not rooting for them at all. I thought I was going to be happy either way. The truth is that if Oklahoma City ends up winning the series and they win the finals, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an NBA champion. The truth is I will be happy for them. I just won't be happy, like I was for wow, the Raptors, damn, that's so cool for them. Or Milwaukee, damn, that's so cool for them. When the teams that you're not expecting to win actually win. Well, we've expected Oklahoma City to win the entire year. It's cool that they've figured it out. Sam Presti essentially has the formula to Coca-Cola in terms of building a roster, because nobody else has been able to emulate what he has done in Oklahoma City. He's got the secret recipe, and that's cool. And they pull off this insane trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander years ago. I say they pull it off. The truth at the time was we were like, holy shit, the Clippers, can you believe this deal? Nobody cared that Shai was going back to Oklahoma City. I mean, that's not totally true. I remember Clipper fans at the time being pretty gutted about it, but it was also like, dog, we're getting Paul George, like, and we have Kawhi now too. Like, it literally, who cares? And you go down the list. We've done the oral history on Oklahoma City in the last couple of years, a lot. So I won't go down the whole thing again. Here's something though. I've been thinking about Lu Dort a lot. He pulled up tonight. Lu Dort hit a shot from like 37 feet. Never ever in my life have I ever seen him do anything like that before. I think I may have said that out loud too. I was like, I have never fucking ever seen that shit before. Pulled it from 37, ripped the net, did not touch the rim. Oh, okay. Shout out to Lu Dort, I guess. The Dortress. Do people really still call him that anymore? Where I was going, why I brought up Lu Dort in the first place was because he really is one of those guys in the NBA that you go back and you look at like their rookie year, which for Dort was it the bubble? I know he was on the team in the bubble. He played for Oklahoma City in the bubble, but that was either I think that was his rookie year, but at worst it was his second year, right? I'm saying this to say his hair, just how short it was and how much it's grown since then. Like really like, who's a good example of a guy? John Morant, that's a good example. I remember when he came into the league, I was like, wow, that guy has long hair. Oh no, like dog. Now John Morant at this point has like Rapunzel hair. Isaiah Stewart, another guy came into the league. I was like, wow, he's got a lot of hair. Now it is like, I guess he's Jamaican though, so right, so that kind of makes sense. That's just sort of what they. Isaiah Stewart, is he Rastafarian? Is that Jamaican? Is that what that is? I'm not. That sounds sort of weird to be like, oh well, he's from Jamaica, so he must be Rastafarian. I sort of I combined those two sentences. I was sort of asking two different questions. Actually, there's another thing too. He is Jamaican because it's him. The Thompson twins and somebody else are like Team Jamaica. Well, the Thompson twins are. They're trying to like get that figured out. The same way I think Kyrie like trying to play for Australia, and in this last Olympics that we had this last summer, Joel Embiid playing for America. Like some guys have claim to like too. I think even in soccer, just to do a quick little soccer thing. I'm pretty sure Erling Haaland has claimed to play for either Norway or England. Wasn't that a thing in recent years? People were mad that he wasn't going to play for England. He was like, I just don't give a shit about it. I don't remember why he didn't play for England, but I think he is eligible to play for both. So shout out to Jamaica, I guess. They're going to have a pretty decent basketball team. Lu Dort, yeah, good guy. Sneaky sort of the... Ooh, is this the take? Is Lu Dort the Miles Turner of the Pacers? Not in terms of, obviously, the position that they play or anything that they do that's similar. They both play very good defense. But what I mean is, when you talk about Oklahoma City and you talk about them adding like a Cam Johnson type character or a Giannis Antetokounmpo or something like that, and you try to throw together a trade package, one of the first guys that you're going to think of to throw in that deal is going to be Lu Dort, right? You're going to say Lu Dort. You might say Cason Wallace, who has started the last two games in the NBA Finals, been a very big deal pregame for these two games. These announcements, wow, Cason Wallace starting again. Game one, honestly, I don't remember if that ended up making an impact because I was focused on shit that wasn't Cason Wallace. Like Cason Wallace a lot, and I would like him in Detroit, but it's the NBA Finals, brother. I'm not paying attention to Cason Wallace. And then game two, I gotta be honest with you, I'm realizing this. I don't know. Did that work for them? Did that work for Oklahoma City? I mean, they won the damn game. Do you want to pull it up in real time again? Do we want to do this again? The thing where Oklahoma City's got to be winning by 100 still. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. The third quarter is coming to a close. Oklahoma City is up by 17 points. I'm going to be fine. Yeah, we're fine to keep talking about this. But Lu Dort really is just kind of the guy that you always talk about with Oklahoma City when you're thinking about moving a guy. And so I just think it's cool when one of those types of players who, the same way, by the way, that this is also the case for Miles Turner. I think we talked about this an episode or two ago. Like when you just stick it out with a team and you dodge all these trade rumors, if Lu Dort's only been there, if his first year was 2020, this is like what, year 5 or 6 for him. If it was the year before, he's not been in the league. Miles Turner's been in the league for 10 years, but it's the principle of the thing, right? Like you deal year after year after year with like, will the team or won't the team trade this guy? And then when it's actually crunch time and you're playing in games that matters, that guy is able to impact the team and sort of, I'm kind of just like making up a scenario. I don't think this is really that common, honestly, but it is interesting that two of those types of guys are playing in this series, right? Miles Turner in the third quarter, I think, of this game he scored a lot of points. I didn't know that he was a free agent this summer. They were talking about that on the broadcast. I thought that was interesting. Imagine that. I was about to say, imagine Miles Turner playing in a different uniform, despite the fact that I just spent the last minute before that being like, remember when we spent the last 10 years being like, where's Miles Turner going to get traded? And then he just kind of it's never really materialized. Imagine this sick, disgusting, twisted, nasty style offseason. San Antonio makes a trade for Kevin Durant, and then they sign, because they have all of the cap space in the world. I mean, I would imagine they do. I think the guy at the top of their payroll of San Antonio's payroll right now, I think is probably Vassell. It's probably Devin Vassell. Okay, you bring in Kevin. Well, it might be De'Aaron Fox, actually. At this point, it might be De'Aaron Fox. I always forget that he's there. So it would be KD. You'd still have money left over. Surely you could go after Miles Turner. I don't know that they would. I don't know that would make any damn sense. You go double bigs. You're essentially doing triple bigs at that point, honestly, if you're San Antonio. And you roll out, I don't know, you do De'Aaron Fox at the 1, you do Stephon Castle at the 2, KD at the 3, Miles Turner 4, Victor Wembanyama 5. That's a big-ass lineup. I don't know that it really makes any sense, but they're going to score a lot of points, and they're going to play good defense, right? You have De'Aaron Fox, you have Swipa. You have one of the quickest guys in the league. He can steal the shit out of the ball. You have Stephon Castle, who's like a bulldog. You have Kevin Durant, who is... he's really good on offense. But it's still really long, still really lanky defender. And then Miles Turner and Victor Wembanyama. What the fuck? That's nasty. I don't know if that can work. I don't know if that makes any sense. But San Antonio really does seem to be, you talk about the NBA this offseason, and you've seen some insiders in the last week or two. The Brian Windhorsts and the Shams Charanis of the world. You've seen them going on networks talking about buckle up, because this offseason might be pretty wild. And it's not uncommon that you go into NBA offseasons and, guys become available who you had no idea were available, and then guys who you thought would be available end up signing extensions, or rumors just kind of go away or shit like that, right? And so we've all, I think, as a collective kind of identified that and been like, this offseason might be wild. It's very interesting, though, to hear people who actually know stuff like Shams or like Brian Windhorst kind of prepping us for that. I just think is interesting. And so bringing this up just to say, it's almost not even to me about the players. Of course it is, but if you tried to look at teams, and you said, let's do the mental exercise right now. Power ranking, if you talked about players, players that you're keeping an eye on this offseason, that you're most invested to see where they end up. I don't know. You're going to be like, oh, what's going to happen with Kevin Durant? You're going to be like, oh, what's going to happen with Jaylen Brown? You're going to be like, oh, what's going to happen with Lauri Markkanen, right? Something like that. Teams, though, NBA teams that you want to keep an eye on this offseason. We mentioned Jaylen Brown. The Celtics are up there. I would put them, let's do 3 teams, right? Let's do 3 teams. I'll put the Celtics at 3, a team that I'm most curious to see what goes on with them this offseason, because another thing we've kind of covered ad nauseum at this point, but just to do a quick little version of it, little TLDR Spark Notes. February happens. Bill Chisholm buys the team for $6 billion, a guy who does not have a Wikipedia page, private equity firm guy, not good for the NBA. Not good, and something weird's going to happen. There's going to be a shakeup that happens, and there was going to be one, even if Jason Tatum didn't rupture his Achilles, right? Even if they didn't lose, they didn't flame out in the playoffs because of that, right? This was going to happen no matter what. There was going to be something that happened, even if they won a championship, that was the catalyst in being well, they were going to find a reason to break this team up. And it's going to happen this offseason. It's going to be Drew Holiday's a name that's been floated out a lot. Keep an eye on him. But Jaylen Brown is the one that I think people have had the most interest in. And I apologize, Celtics fan. This is not a hashtag break up the Jays segment. But it is actually, for real this time, kind of the reality of it where, no, there's a chance that Jaylen Brown is not the guy that they decide to part ways with. Again, it could be a guy like Drew Holiday, right? It could be a guy like Kristaps Porzingis. But when you think about Jaylen Brown through the lens of he's going to be making $70 million in like 2 fucking years as a guy who's trying to cut costs, I'm looking at that. I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm not going to move my franchise player, the guy who everybody associates our team with being the franchise player, who just ruptured his because we're not going to move him. You are healthy right now and can play basketball. It's just gonna be you, brother. And so Houston, that's the team that's been thrown out there a lot when it comes to Jaylen Brown trade rumors and his relationship with Ime Udoka. There's also been a lot of, I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here, but there's also been a little bit, I said a lot, there's been a little bit of chatter about trading Ime Udoka to the Knicks. Have you guys been picking up on that too? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Trading Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Houston Rockets, to the New York Knicks. Something we did not cover on the show, by the way, is the fact that I almost said Tom Thibs. Fuck it. The fact that Tom Thibs just got fired by the Knicks semi-inexplicably. It kind of just happened on like a Wednesday or a Thursday. It just kind of happened. Tom Thibodeau fired by the New York Knicks. What? You start seeing all these rumors kind of floating out there like, oh, maybe it had something to do with the fact that Rick Brunson is on the bench. That's weird. The most recent update, there's been a lot, brother, but in the most recent update that I read that came across my desk was that like Knicks brass, management, front office synonyms, were, quote, alarmed, unquote, by player feedback in exit interviews as it related to Thibs. That's interesting. So people must have just, I don't know, there must have just been some comments that boiled up in the management. Okay, all right, okay. If that's the truth, I guess it makes sense. Because the way that, for a few days at least, this looked optically for the Knicks was you think that there's going to be somebody better out there. And, I mean, maybe you think you're going to be able to hire Mike Malone, a guy who's won a championship as a head coach in this decade. If you think it's him, okay. Okay. Otherwise, Jay Wright said no, former coach of Villanova. He's like, nah, I like TV now. I like doing TV now. I think I'm going to keep doing TV. I don't really want to come back to basketball, much less the NBA. It's a thankless job. I mean, case in point, Thibs just got fucking scapegoated. Or so we thought. Again, I don't know. The players, if that report's true, that it was the players and their feedback that, again, quote, alarmed, unquote, Knicks management, okay, I'll dust my hands. Case closed. If the players were like, something's weird here, then that's just going to create a really tough environment. And so it is what it is, right? But, okay, so let's get back on the road here. Is it, I don't know, do you want to put the Knicks on there as a team that, I don't know. No, I don't think we want to put them on there. Yeah, because we're putting San Antonio at number 1. But are the Knicks really the Lakers? Maybe. You could put the Suns on there, honestly, if you wanted to. Teams that you're most curious to see what happens with them this summer. Yes, of course, I want to put Detroit on there, but that's just me. I'm trying to strip this segment of like all of the home cooking shit. You know what I mean? Just be objective here. It would maybe be Phoenix is a contender. I don't know that they're in the top 3 though, because it's not like we're waiting to see what Phoenix does to see if it like catapults them into like a true contender position the way that we would with Boston. It's not really what we're waiting for with Boston. It's more just to see like what the shakeup is. But I think it's because of the magnitude, the stakes of that shakeup. It's just really interesting to keep an eye on it to see, like, are they playing the short game and trying to rectify shit without Jason Tatum next season? Or are they playing the long game and kind of like halfway punting on next year and maybe getting some picks and maybe, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just interesting to see. It doesn't matter what Phoenix does. It does not matter what they do. They're going to stink. If and when they trade Kevin Durant, They will get some stuff in return, like Jeremy Sohan and fucking Drew Eubanks or some bullshit. Is Drew Eubanks even in? I don't know where he plays anymore. Isn't he in Phoenix? I don't fucking know. I don't care. It's just gonna be fine. I don't think they're gonna trade Book. I don't think they will. Bradley Beal's not going anywhere unless he retires. He's not going anywhere. You have Matt Ishbia coming out the other day. I mean, by far the worst owner in the NBA. You have Matt Ishbia coming out the other day talking about like, yeah, I just need to be more hands-on and I'm going to be more involved as an owner. And I'm putting a hand up and I'm saying like, I'm not pulling my weight around here. You mean the guy who strong-armed and was like, no, we're getting Kevin Durant. No, we're going to go get Bradley Beal. Oh, you weren't involved in that decision? You weren't involved in either of those decisions. Neither of them? Was he the GM when they signed Book to his most recent extension? The timeline's close. I don't think that he was, but the timeline's close. It doesn't matter. The KD thing and the Beal thing alone are traits that were so massive that they can only happen if there's pressure from ownership, not from management, from fucking ownership. Those trades don't happen if you weren't the one was it James Jones that was the GM at the time or president of ops? Is he still? I don't know what's going on in Phoenix with the front office. I'll put a hand up. I have no fucking idea. But I know that the fish rots from the head. I know that much. And so Matt Ishbia talking about, I need to be more hands-on. God save the fucking Suns. God save them. I'm praying for y'all. I don't know how this is going to shake out. Definitely interesting to keep an eye on Phoenix, but I don't think they're not top 3. We had Boston at 3. I don't know. The Knicks and the Lakers are interesting. I just think that the Pistons they just do have a good case. I mean, but I don't want to make it right now because I really just want to, because you don't want to hear me do that. Well, most of you are fucking Pistons fans. So I just think it's the Knicks. I really think it's the Pistons, honestly. No, it is. Because if you think about a team that hasn't been able to make like real big boy trades in 5 years, since the 2020 draft, the Pistons have not been able to trade a future first round pick. Do you know how hard it is to make meaningful, impactful trades in the NBA without being able to move first-round picks? I'm not saying you can't do it without trading first-round picks. I'm saying to not even have the option to do it is a completely different thing. That's what Troy Weaver did for, 3 years, 4 years, and what Trajan Langdon has done this season. And now we're going into an offseason where the Pistons outkicked their coverage. They overachieved this season by a wide margin. I'd say they won 20 damn more games than people thought that they were going to. They were the 6th seed in the playoffs and could have won that series against the Knicks. They lost in 6. Dog, they could have won in 5 for real. If like a few balls bounce a few different ways and a few different shots. Sure, if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk right now. But I'm just saying, like, they were in that series, right? Every single game they were in the series. I don't know. That team going into an offseason with the second most amount of cap space in basketball. So they can, I don't know, maybe they don't even, we could be talking about a trade where the Pistons take on a bad contract and they get more capital. Let's kick the can down the road. Let's play with that a little bit. That's fine. Let's stock up those picks. Maybe one will be unprotected, right? Who knows? But I just think it's going to be interesting to monitor. Does Detroit think that they were a Jaden Ivey away from winning that series against New York? That's one way to look at it. If nothing happens with him, that could be the case. If something happens with him, maybe it's not the case. Or maybe they did think that, but they're trading Jaden Ivey to get, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to say, oh, Devin Booker. Wow. Oh, how did we get back to Devin Booker? You know what I mean? But like that is kind of who we would be thinking of. Lauri Markkanen is a player that we have seen a lot of buzz about recently. I mean, this has been going on for 2 damn years. But the very, very recent history of the Lauri Markkanen drama is that Detroit, once again, is a team that is expected to check in. Now, people get very excited when they hear, basically just teams doing their due diligence. Every GM calls about every single player, even when they know they're not going to get a deal done. You just have to do your due diligence. Lauri Markkanen is such a damn hard player to trade for, though. Real hard. Because when Danny Ainge is the GM of a team, he's not going to lose a trade. You know what I mean? And no GM wants to be fleeced, but like when it comes to Ainge, the history with him is like whatever you in your head have conceptualized as the trade value for Lauri Markkanen, remember that you are picking up the phone and calling Danny Ainge. You have to add to whatever package you have in your head at least one more player and at least 2 more picks. That's how it's going to work with Danny Ainge. And so that's where it gets a little bit like, because it's one thing if you're making a deal for a guy who stamped no matter what happened. Like the Giannis trade is a good example. If that ends up happening, it's a whole different thing. Maybe we'll cover it in just a second. I want to stay on this. If you are the team that trades for Giannis, hypothetically, you know for a fact what you are getting. You don't need to keep your receipt. You can tear it up. When you get that, when you're cashing out, you're checking out and you're doing the Giannis deal, and they ask you, do you want your receipt emailed or printed? You can say neither. Print it out and throw it in the fucking trash. I'm getting Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? I know what I'm buying. It's different when it's a guy like Lauri Markkanen, or even when it's a guy like Devin Booker. 2 very, very special players, 2 very, very talented players, right? But it's tricky when a team finally has unlimited flexibility this offseason to do whatever they want via free agency, via trade. They have the money, they have the open cap, and they have the capital. They have it. They control all of their picks outside of the one that we're about to experience later this month, right? It is scary to think about a team, finally starting to maybe get over the hump of being the bottom of the barrel. I mean, I just think they definitively did that this year, right? But you just want to make sure it's sustained success. Are you handicapping yourself immediately? Are you kneecapping yourself, no Detroit pun intended, immediately if you say, finally, we can move future firsts, and you say, let's send 5 of them away for Devin Booker. Let's send 5 of them away, 4 of them for Lauri Markkanen. And also, by the way, like an Isaiah Stewart or a Jaden Ivey or a Jalen Duren, God forbid. God forbid for 2 out of those 3 players that you would have to trade them, right? I still think Asar is a hell no, and absolutely not. Between Detroit and Houston, I think outside of the superstars, like the true blue blood superstars, you know who I'm talking about. Name a guy, it's them, right? Of course, those guys are untouchable. I mean, you think, yes, the Luka trade, blah, 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 blah. But when you get down to like not the B players, but you know what I mean? Not the blue blood superstars. I think the Thompson twins might be 2 of the most untouchable players in the NBA. Point blank, period. They're so special. They are 2 types of guys that we have just, it's tough to say never seen before in the NBA, but you'd be hard pressed to find many of them, more than a handful, with their drive, with their athleticism, just how physically gifted both of them are. I think they might be the most untouchable non-superstar players in the entire NBA. And I don't even think that their ceilings are superstars. I don't even understand what they are. Like, what both of them excel at, what both of them do so damn well, is a couple of years ago, Bruce Brown, when he was originally playing in Detroit, the Pistons drafted Bruce Brown. He kind of started to like invent this position where once we stopped playing him at the 2 and we kind of let him handle the ball and he was playing the 1, on both ends of the floor, he's kind of like playing like a center fielder in baseball. Like he's not a point guard. Like he actually played point guard at the University of Miami. I think Jim Larinaga was his coach. Didn't Jim Larinaga die, or did he get fired? Did he quit? Did he take the Saban route and he was like, this NIL shit is ridiculous and I'm not fucking doing this anymore? Something happened with Jim Larinaga. I don't remember what it was. Did he die? Rest in peace to Jim Larinaga. That's awful. Where was I going with this? Oh, I was just hyping up Bruce Brown and talking about, and then he goes to Brooklyn and then suddenly everybody's talking more about him because he's in Brooklyn. He's not in damn Detroit anymore. And there was good reason for it. He was really, really good. But he's just at Denver. He was doing the same shit. He just kind of invented a position. I just think the Thompson twins are kind of the same, right? Like they just, I don't have the basketball vernacular to really describe it, communicate it effectively. But I just think that they're so damn good. And so, Detroit's not going to let anything happen to him. But outside of that, Ron Holland, I don't know. It depends on who we're talking about. It depends on the player. It would suck. I don't want to see any of these guys get traded. But the truth is that young cores in the NBA, especially in the modern era, are made to be destroyed. That's what happens. You create a war chest to deplete the war chest. Like, yeah, dog, that's kind of how this works. And then if you're Sam Presti, you just like infinite money glitch. Hashtag it goes back into the economy. I trade a player, get 100 first-round picks, and then now I'm just set, and I could do this is a whole rinse and repeat thing. And you just if pennies on the fucking dollar, first-round picks, bullshit. Sam Presti showing him at this game against the Pacers. Which, by the way, why don't we? This episode's kind of gotten away from me. I haven't checked the score here in like 20 minutes. Yeah, Oklahoma City up by 20 with 6 minutes left. Thank God. Thank God, Oklahoma City won this game. I was gonna be so annoyed if I had to do another live reaction in the middle of the show to Tyrese Haliburton doing some voodoo shit. Very glad I didn't have to do that. There's a piece of commentary about this NBA Finals, by the way. I got two things. One, did you guys see that Basketball Reference listed, quote, the moment, unquote, as an official nickname for Tyrese Haliburton? I don't remember what Stephen A. Smith said on First Take the other day, but he was like, oh, I seen they're calling Tyrese Haliburton, and then he said a nickname. I don't remember what it was. But it wasn't the one that you're thinking of. I texted my brother. I said, Stephen A., I don't think that's what they're calling Tyrese Haliburton. I think they're calling him the damn Haliban. The Al-Qaeda. You seen that Al-Qaeda bombing Oklahoma City? What the hell was that all about? I gotta tell you, I've seen Haliban floated around in certain channels, back channels, for a few months. It is a very new, hive, like name for a hive. It's been largely underground since its inception. I've seen it before. I gotta tell you, I don't know what the hell happened. Haliban, no pun intended, has fucking exploded. This is the most jihadist meme that we've had hit NBA Twitter since what? Since the James Harden, like when mom makes pizza rolls and he's like going nuts. You know what I'm talking about? The top text, bottom text, Oklahoma City, like, oh, when mom makes pizza rolls. And it's like James Harden and I think maybe Kevin Durant, like going sick, going like wild, nasty style. I'm telling you, brother, we haven't seen, and I would also say, like, from underground to mainstream as just as quickly as it did, it's really been like a Chappell Roan type of arc for the Haliban, for the Al-Qaeda. It's been fascinating. I would also love to give, Haliburton did, he sort of acknowledged it. He did a hat tip to the meme without actually saying what it was. He said something to the effect of like, I've seen some of the absurd like jokes and shit that people are getting off since his shot in game one. And he was like, all I can do is laugh. And it's like, okay, so you definitely know. I've seen this one. So obviously you have ISIS. When it's spelled out, you spell Shay's name SHAISIS. But I'm like, but his name's not Shy. Like like Shasis doesn't sound funny. When it's spelled out and you can kind of look at it as like Shisis, that's funny. So it was like the Al-Qaeda eliminates Shisis, but it's like, but again, that's not how you say his name, so it's just not funny. It's close, but it's not funny. So that's been a fun little phenomenon, I guess, to sort of keep an eye on, is like just the absolute explosion of the Haliban. It is also kind of like a lot of analogies, I think, for the meteoric rise of this nickname. It's a little bit like Linsanity style. It's not the same like cultural event at all. It's not the same thing even a little bit, but just that like how we attached it's not the same thing. No, because motherfuckers were putting Linsanity on the cover of ESPN and Sports Illustrated and like the damn New York Post and shit like that, right? You can't put like the Haliban does it again on the. You could probably put that on the New York Post if there's a publication in America, or like I don't know what's the one in England? Is it the Beast, Daily Beast? Is it the Daily Mirror? Which one is it? The Sun? What the fuck is it? Which one is it? There are a couple publications where you get away with that. What about the WAPO? What about the Washington Post? No, Bezos wouldn't let that happen. Bezos with the. Oh, okay. Who's a player that we could say is Mujahideen? Joel Embiid, Joel M. Mujahideen. Joel M. Mujahideen. No. That sounds like Joel M. Bella Hadid or some bullshit like that. Come on, Mujahideen. So we've done jihadist Morant in the past. So we have. Here we go. Let's create. No, don't say that. Let's create. Okay. So we have jihadist Morant. We have the Haliban. Come on, the Mujahideen. Come on, brother. This has to be a low-hanging fruit. I will go ahead and skip ahead if you want. I will sit here until I figure it out. I'm just gonna start naming NBA players: Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Mujahideen, I'm like Jaleel Okafor, Peja Stojakovic, Mujahideen, I was gonna say Bella Hadid again. I watched that damn Maddie and I watched that damn Chicken Shop Date with Amelia de Moldenberg. The episode she did with Bella Hadid. My girlfriend loves the Hadids. Absolutely loves the Hadids. Very normal people. Very like, anytime you kind of hear from them, you're like, oh wow, you're just sort of, sure, you guys are bajillionaires and you're like models. And so you live a very glamorous life, but you don't really live that glamorous of a life. And you're actually almost boring in like how crazy it is that you're just like a normal, person. There was another thing that happened the other day. I saw this whole thing, all of the pop girly subreddits that I'm in. This was all the rage. So somebody asked Kylie Jenner, they like made a TikTok and they're like, you know how girls will be like, oh my God, girl, like drop your skincare routine. Like oh my gosh, it's so crystal clear. And they'll be like, for sure. Like, here's this this facial cleanse that I spent $65 on and runs out in a week. And you're like, and they're like, oh my gosh, like I've been looking for something like that. What? Oh my God, this is exactly what I need. It is? Oh, okay. Well, okay, so this girl was like, girl, Kylie Jenner, please drop like your boob job. Like, what did you do? What did you get? And then Kylie Jenner responded. She commented and gave a bunch of like information about her boob job. And then everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, Kylie Jenner is so for the girls. And I'm like, why? Because she told you what doctor she went to in Los Angeles I mean, I guess good for her for being like, yeah, I'm not all natural. It's like, girl, oh, okay. But my other thing is like, I just took so much exception. Look, I'm not a woman, but I just took exception to like Kylie Jenner is for the girls. Look, man, I don't know. I'm not a girl. I have a son. I don't have a daughter. I just have the Jenners and the Kardashians not done the most damage to like, I don't know, the image that a teenage girl might have for herself. Is it not, have they not for the last 20 years as a family not been like, it's crazy if you look at both of the Jenners, you look at Kylie and you look at Kendall, like even 10 years ago. Cause I'm like the same, me and Maddie are like the same age as them. And so like, we kind of like grown up the same. It's crazy. And you want to do like the societal pressure and like sure, we can spend a fucking hour going in circles and having the same goddamn conversation like 10 different ways. I just maybe I'm being a little nitpicky. Kylie Jenner is for the girls. Okay. Didn't the Knicks, weren't they undefeated when she was in attendance? Kylie, that is. I think that might have been a thing. How did we get here? How did we get here? Do I have any emails that I want to read to you guys? I don't know. I might. Maybe. The email, copinghoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically, email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. I think there were a couple that I wanted to read. I got to tell you, though, man, I've had a terrible headache for, not really a headache. It's more like pressure in the middle of my head for the last week, because I know some of you guys who listen to the show, you are Chicago residents. You also live in the same city as me. And so you guys will know what's going on here. Hey, what's going on with these damn Canadian wildfires? What's going on with all that? Because it's really fucking up the air quality, and I haven't been able to go outside for a week now because the AQI it's been better. I mean, today it was at like 110. That's not great. We were hovering around like 190 though. And on Thursday and Friday, Chicago had the worst air quality in the entire country. And it's just haze. I mean, we live in, we have an amazing view of the skyline and of the lake, and you can't see anything because there's so much smoke. And I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not leaving the house. And so, like, my eyes have been kind of like, and there's just been a weird pressure. And can I say, like, can we do it? It's not really a trust tree, but like, I'm sorry, because Canada, it's me doing it this time. I am actually about to do this, but I just want you to hear what I'm saying, okay? I'm always the one that's like, leave me alone. I don't even say mean shit about Canada. I just hear what I'm saying, okay? I understand why people become like alt-right grifters. I think I do. And it was these damn Canadian wildfires that it was a real light bulb moment for me. Because I'm sitting here waiting for these Truth Social posts to start pouring in, for Alex Jones, for like these major, conservative news network talking heads, these pundits, these anchors, to start saying this thing, and they just won't say it. Could you not be like, what the hell? These Canadians are committing ecological terrorism. They're purposely lighting all their forests on fire to make a middle America suffer. Could you not just do that? Especially if you actually watch the news. That sounded really condescending. That's not how I meant that at all. Especially if you actually watch the news. That's not how I meant it. Who's the cat's name? What's the guy's name? What is his name? He just got elected. The prime minister. What is his name? Carney? Dog, like not even a week. It was like a week ago. He goes on TV and he says something that like shook me. My entire life, your entire life, listening to this, anybody who is listening to this right now who is alive has only ever been alive in a time where America and Canada were in like a thriving and prosperous relationship. And like in a lot of ways, we were kind of like this. I always, at least in my head, kind of conflated the two. Like, it was easy for me to, that's not me doing some like imperialist 51st state shit. I don't mean that. I mean that in like a brothers in arm way. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's Canada. Like my entire childhood, I was like, yeah, Canada and Mexico are like, we're just kind of the same. We're obviously different countries, but we're all kind of in this together. You know what I mean? Motherfucker goes on TV and he was like, every functioning relationship that we have had with the United States government and with its like manufacturers for the last however many years is over. He was like, we are done. All of it. He just kept saying like, this relationship is over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. And I was like, whoa. To be honest with you, I don't know how it changes my life, and I don't really know that it does. What do we get from Canada? Lumber. We get lumber from Canada. We get energy from them. It would be weird if we did. I don't think that we do. I know lumber is a major export for them, for us specifically. Like, haha, funny joke, but surely maple syrup, right? Sure, or do we just manufacture that here? That would be dumb. Molson's? Do people really drink Molson's anymore? I don't know. I don't know what we get from them other than lumber. I know for sure that that's a thing. I don't know if I'll be impacted by this, but I got to be honest with you. I don't like how it makes me feel that we're not friends with Canada anymore. I thought we were just having like a beef. Like I thought we were just fighting like beef style, and then like there was gonna be like I thought we were in like the euphoria phase still. I didn't know we just jumped to not like us. And even though nobody in Canada called Trump a pedophile, they did be like, fuck you, and the culture hates you, and I hate the way that you walk. I know that's euphoria, but still, we're not friends with them anymore. I'm saying all of that just to say, well, if you know that happened, which it did like a week ago, Canada broke up with America for the foreseeable future, at least until, I don't want to say until, who fucking knows, but they're not, things are not good right now. If you know that was true at the same time that you were living through Canada fucking up our air quality, would you not then draw the conclusion, A to B, this is their fucking fault and they're doing this to like fuck with us? This is ecological terrorism. This is what I'm saying. I don't believe that that's true. I think that's like a hilarious crackpot thing to say. But if I'm like an Alex Jones type character, why would I not just go on the internet and fucking say that and then sell t-shirts for $45 and sell mugs for $32? Like, why would I not do that? And you're going to say, well, Nick, because if you're going to do the Alex Jones thing, that's how you get sued for $2 billion by the families of Sandy Hook Elementary. And to that, I would say touche, but then I would follow that up with like, yeah, but that was kind of an anomaly because like, how often do these people actually get sued and actually end up having to, like, did Steven Crowder ever get sued for being an idiot? Or did he just get sued because he like emotionally and physically abused his pregnant wife? Was it just that he got in trouble for? I don't remember what it was, to be honest with you. I don't know. Other than that, who's that cat, Tim Pool, being funded by the Kremlin in the fucking press room in the White House asking questions to Carolyn Levitt? What the fuck is that all about? Why is there a guy who's taking money from Moscow, from the capital K Kremlin, in the White House asking the press secretary questions? That doesn't seem great. That does not seem like something that I... Also, okay, we didn't cover the Elon versus Trump thing. Actually, we did in the last episode. It was one of the things I ended up having to cut out because the audio got all fucked up, which I really hope doesn't happen in this episode, but by now you would know if it has or not. We didn't really talk about the Trump versus Elon thing. Yeah, we had a day here in America on whenever the first game of the finals was, Thursday, where we knew for like 2 days that there was like something weird going on between Trump and Elon. There's like some stuff that was kind of like, oh, wow, okay, there was some interesting little back and forths there. But ultimately, I think the send-off that Elon had like in the Oval Office, where Trump gave him a key and he was like, Elon is always welcome in the government, even though I'm kicking him out right now. So it's like, okay, but they're fine. And then suddenly they weren't. And we had a real life like Kendrick versus Drake for like Republicans. Elon and Trump start firing back and forth at each other. But imagine instead of the dramatic buildup of, just to start from one of the timelines, go from like that to push-ups to whatever the Tupac bullshit was to Euphoria to, the whole timeline. Like, imagine push-ups came out and then Kendrick released Not Like Us. And after like no real volleying or back and forth at all, or even giving Drake a fucking chance, he just immediately was like, pedophile, certified lover boys, certified pedophiles, wop, 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 wop. Stop, fuck them up. I could do the whole damn song. It's such a good song. Such a good fucking song. Imagine that. Because that's what happened. They like kind of fire off like one or two tweets at each other. So Elon's doing his thing on Twitter, which he owns. And Trump was firing off all of his truths on the social media platform that he owns, which was Truth Social. Elon just goes full, that motherfucker's a pedophile. And he's like, here's some news for you. He's like, the reason that the Epstein files aren't out yet is because Trump is in them. That's why they haven't been released. Have a good day, DJT, Donald John Trump. And I was kind of like, whoa, everybody, wow, whoa, bombshell, whoa. My thing was, is that kind of not from Elon Musk calling Trump a pedophile? Is that not a little bit like woke liberal mob of him? You know what I mean? So the thing that all of the people that you have detested for the last like 4 years, because, dog, 10 years ago, Elon Musk was like a lib. At least that was the way that he tweeted, and that was when he would go on podcasts and shit like that, and like the public donations that he would make. He was a public-facing Democrat like 10 years ago, and then he just got radicalized, and I don't know. I don't want to go down the whole list of like, oh, well, actually, he just decided who was aligned with his interests. Whatever. I don't want to have the conversation right now, right? So like within the last like 4 years, and he kind of goes, "What the fuck am I talking about? I'm talking about Elon. I don't remember what I've derailed myself too many times. I don't know." Trump and Elon. Right, yeah. He's talking about these woke libs, and this is woke has gone too far, and go woke, go broke. And then the second that him and Trump start to a real hashtag the girls are fighting moment breaks out, he reverts back to his lib self and calls Trump a pedophile. And I'm like, wait a minute, surely somebody's pointed this out by now, right? But it's like, wait, so let's say it's true. When did you find that out? Did you find that out 2 minutes before you sent out that tweet, or did you? Because you probably, if that's true, you probably knew about it for a while, and it wasn't a deal breaker for you until it was. You know what I mean? While that was happening, Kash Patel, director of the FBI, was on Rogan. The director of the FBI was on Joe Rogan's podcast in the middle of Elon Musk and Donald Trump's beef on social media. They reacted to Elon's, "Hey, Trump was on the Epstein list," tweet live. That's crazy. Also, equally crazy to see a guy like Kash Patel, who, for those of you who don't know, before he was appointed director of the FBI, he was like a guy on the internet who shitposted with his fucking mouth. And like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, imagine if the next administration comes in the United States. Who knows when that's going to be? Am I right? Could be fucking 20 years from now. 4 more years. That's what they say. That's what the MAGA crowd is saying. But regardless, right? Imagine the next people come in, and I was appointed the director of the FBI. That is Kash Patel. And so for that guy 4 years ago to be on the internet talking about like, oh, these spineless Republicans, like, release the fucking Epstein shit. And he was on podcasts every single day talking about Jeffrey Epstein and all this conspiracy shit. And then the second that he becomes the director of the FBI, he's like, yeah, it's weird, actually. There is actually some footage, but it's not going to be interesting to you guys. But we'll still release it. But like, we'll release a video of Epstein dying, and he just kind of dies. You'll see that nobody really comes in there and like kills him. And so I was just wondering, like, could you imagine if I don't know if it'll be the FBI or, you know, how they'll end up releasing this, but like a video does get released of what appears to be Jeffrey Epstein in his cell. We've been led to believe up to this point that there was no footage that was available. The cameras got wiped, or they were off, or something was fucked up with the cameras, and we just didn't have the footage. I guess now we have the footage. We were told that the security was like asleep or just not paying attention when this happened. Kash Patel's response to that was like, yeah, there's no way to verify that. Oh, okay. But okay, what if they release this video that they allege that they have of him killing himself, and it like looks like that is what happened? And you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, you probably don't, because I haven't fucking said anything. I'm just like, I wonder if the government, an intelligence agency, would use that as an opportunity to showcase like their brand new artificial intelligence infused like video capabilities, right? Because that's where we're heading. I mean, you've seen maybe in recent weeks, if you pay attention to tech like at all, like even a little bit, these videos that have started to come out of, it's like 3 minutes long of like compilations of only AI generated videos with audio. So like, when was the Will Smith spaghetti video, the AI spaghetti video? When was that? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? I think it may have been longer than that ago, or maybe even, I have no idea right now when that would have happened, right? It wasn't that long ago, though. And now we're creating videos where, like, if you showed it to a random person, it was like indistinguishable. If you know that it's AI, it's easy to kind of like, point things out and be like, okay, yeah, this is it. It's very, very close to the untrained eye if you don't know that it's AI and you're not really paying attention to it. It's really, really convincing, right? There are very useful, very good use cases, I should say, for artificial intelligence in our culture. And no, it should not be entirely eliminated. And I'm not about to do a whole thing on AI, right? But AI-generated videos being weaponized is where I'm going with this whole thing. It's like, maybe they do have a video that depicts Jeffrey Epstein hanging himself in his prison cell. Maybe they have a video that shows that. And I just wonder, like, at what point do we start questioning shit that we're seeing? I'm really not trying to go, like, crazy off the rails here, but at what point do we start to do that? I would say maybe that if that video comes out ever, I would question it. Sneaky, though, is one of those things that I think the government has done such a good job just demoralizing. Like me specifically, at least. Because whatever happened, whatever it was, with Jeffrey Epstein. At this point, just for posterity, what do I believe Jeffrey Epstein was, and what do I think he was doing down in the, what is that, the Caribbean? I don't think that's the Caribbean. It's right next to Puerto Rico. I think he was an agent for an intelligence agency, if not multiple. And I think that his little island was for, like, it was just a blackmail. It was a honeypot operation is essentially what it was. That's where I'm at. And yeah, he probably does have a pretty crazy client list. I mean, we didn't even talk about Virginia Guthrie. She died. She killed herself. The woman who came forward and is in the famous photo with Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. I believe that's the woman that Prince Andrew, when he sat down for that BBC interview, he was like, he talked about how he can't sweat. He's like physically incapable of sweating. Because the journalist was like, yeah, this Virginia Guthrie alleges that you were sweating profusely. And that it was you were just drenched in sweat. Your shirt was soaked. And he was like, well, and she was like 13 at the time, right? And they were like dancing or some bullshit at one of Epstein's parties. And Prince Andrew was like, that's not possible. He's like, that's impossible. And their journalist was like, what? He's like, well, I experienced a traumatic event in the Falklands. And so England spent like a week in the Falklands down in South America. I don't know, like 60 years ago. Killed a couple people, and then we're like, we won, and then they went home. It's fucking weird. Prince Andrew was there. He said he witnessed something traumatic, and he had PTSD, and so because of that, he doesn't sweat. He's physically incapable of sweating. What the fuck are you talking about? That woman just killed herself a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point. Horrible. Brutal. And she's one of those people that in, recent years, she said something to the effect of like, you know how it goes. Like, hey, if I wind up dead and they say it's a suicide, it's probably not a suicide. I haven't seen a report come out about that since maybe like a week after. I think it was her dad maybe that was like, yeah, we're looking into this because what the fuck. So that was a thing. That was a thing that happened. But do I care about it anymore? Yeah, I guess I do. Because ultimately a lot of kids are involved. And that's the part that I think matters. I guess the part that I'm demoralized by is like, who cares who's on the list? Because, like, they're going to get away with it. I mean, you know what I mean? So, whatever. Okay, folks. What else do I got for you guys? Let me just try to think. I'm going to sit here inside. Did the Pacers end up... I imagine the Pacers didn't end up winning this game. No. 123-107 is your final. Haliburton, looks like he picked it up in the second half. Good for him. Shout out to Obi Toppin. Big time stinker tonight. Thomas Bryant got some cardio in. Is that James Johnson? James Johnson got to check into this game. Hell yeah. Lu Dort didn't do, and I mean, this doesn't track defense. Oh, literally the one shot that I talked about earlier where Lu Dort pulled up from 40 damn feet. This is the only shot that he made in this game. Hell yeah, brother. Weird game from Jalen Williams. I don't think this is interesting, me just being like, Shea had 34. Good for him. So through 2 games, Shea is averaging what went to the line 12 times. Well, not 12 times, but he took 12 attempts. Okay, folks. Wow. Oklahoma City played the entire roster. That's cool. Everybody got some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys got to play in this game. Holy shit. Gee whiz. We didn't get anything from Tony Bradley, Isaiah Jackson, or Jarris Walker from Indiana. That's your analysis, folks. Alrighty. I've been playing the Oblivion remaster, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I've been playing that on my PC. I don't know if I have my graphics card is a 3070. My CPU is a Ryzen 5800X. I don't know what else I need to say, but so it's not really a hardware issue. The game isn't that demanding. The performance just isn't that good. It's really pissing me off. If I'm like in a closed space, like if I'm in like a dungeon or like a what, it's fine. I achieve at a minimum 60 frames. But if I'm in the open world, like there are moments where I'm playing a goddamn PowerPoint. And it's only for a second, that it'll kind of then it'll buffer, and then I'm playing at 30, and then I'm like, why am I playing on a $2,000 computer? If I bought it a few years ago, I don't think it would be worth $2,000 anymore. I could probably get like 12 for it though. If that, I don't think I could get 12 for it anymore. We're on the damn 50 series at this point. No, I couldn't get 1,200 for it. What the hell was I talking about? It's fine. I mean, it's actually more than fine. It's a fucking blast. It's the most fun. I don't know why I said it's fine. I was just trying to talk about something else as quick as I could. It's a blast. It's been awesome. Can I tell you my favorite thing? So here's the thing. This is how you play fantasy RPG games, right? Is you load in and you're faced with like, you could be a lizard person. You could be an Argonian. You could be a Khajiit, a cat person. You could be an orc. You could be name a thing. You could be you could be elf, right? You could be like 4 different types of an elf. And what I have done every single time for my entire life is pick a white guy with a beard and long hair, and I give him a sword. And that is how I do my adventure every single time. It's the one game, like the one style of game where like I'll only make a guy who looks like me. Like if I'm playing 2K, we can all be honest. We can all be honest. I have made guys that look like me. I've done the actual face scan before. I think it's fun to do it one time, do the face scan in 2K or whatever games that, that you play. That I think like, does MLB The Show still do that? It's fun to do face scan. I've done it before, but we all know that when you're playing my player, you know who you're making, right? But when it comes to fantasy RPG, like I think I tried to do a playthrough like one time with an orc, and I went in and I was like, this is who my character is, and like, this is what I'm going to do, right? And this is going to be like his story, his narrative arc. I ended up just being super genocidal, and I went around to all of the orc strongholds, and I turned off like unkillable NPCs or turned on unkillable NPCs or whatever the fuck. So everybody in the game can die, even the characters who like aren't supposed to, quote unquote, in Skyrim. You know what I mean? I killed every single orc in Skyrim. Every single one. Like every NPC that I knew about that was an orc, I killed them. And I was like, this was all right. This is okay. I guess I'm done here. I stopped doing that. And then if it's like, I guess it's not always a sword. Like at some point, every character that I create where I'm like, this is how I'm going to play. I'm going to be like a blacksmith, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? 2 minutes into it, I'm doing like console commands and shit like that and giving myself 30,000 gold just because I fucking can, right? And then like immediately after committing to like, I'm going to be a dagger guy for this playthrough, it always comes back around to like a stealthy archer. It's always that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be in the shadows and my archery is going to be 99 and I'm going to get Daedric arrows and do all this cool shit. No, but Oblivion's been a ton of fun. It's been so much fun. They did such a good job preserving a game that's 20 years old and still making it feel like the way that it felt while just completely, remastering the way that it looks. It looks amazing, again, despite the fact that the performance kind of fucking sucks. But it has made me want to play Skyrim a lot again, and it has made me want to play Starfield again. Has been the other thing. There was a mission though in Oblivion, a word of caution, that they make you do the Da Vinci Code. Like you have to do the Da Vinci Code. I don't know how anybody in 2007 would have figured out how to do the mission. Because like yes, YouTube existed, but like Machinima wasn't a thing yet, dog, and Machinima wasn't. Were they putting out like guides and walkthroughs? They may have done that. I just remember that Machinima more is like people like Red versus Blue or like Arby and the Chief or something like that. Like shows about games, like shows within games or something like that. Or people doing like COD montages, like people putting on, you know what I mean? Like Rust, quick scopes, and like people like World's Fastest Nuke and shit like that. People just like noob tubing across the map and getting like 6 kills. You're like, what the fuck? Or like you would get like a Machinima video recommended to you. There's one person out there. I'm telling you, one of you is out there that I'm scratching the fuck out of your brain right now. I'm getting in my bag talking about Machinima. You want to talk about YouTube? Like a genre-defining channel, Machinima? Early days YouTube, the hub for gamers. If you could get a partnership with them and you could get your content up, man, it was next level. Or like if it's MW2, they're on high rise and like there's a lane from like spawn to spawn where a guy gets like a 6-tuplet collateral and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then he puts it, and then he what's the what was the perk? That it was Army of One. Was it Army of One? Is it, or like it's like a secondary weapon slot, I think is what it is. And you could change your class while you were still alive. So they'll get like a 6 times collateral to start the game. They'll Army of One into a fucking ACR with a noob tube. They'll just point it to some obscure place in the sky, let it rip. 6 more kills. That's a Harrier. That's a Harrier. And then they'll just post up. The Harrier will do its work. That's an AC-130. I'll take that AC-130. And then they hop in that, and then, 12, 13 kills later? Nuke. And it's only been 2 minutes. What just happened? What just happened? That's it. That was gaming YouTube in 2008. That's what it was, Cades. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to... That's not how I do that. Spotify, I love you guys. Love you guys. You guys have been amazing. Participation over on Spotify has been amazing. I wish I could get monetized on there. It's impossible. It's impossible to get Spotify. I almost said spotitized. It's impossible to get monetized on Spotify. Like you have to have like a real show. The numerical, the statistical requirements to get there. I don't think I ever will do. Unless I like went crazy hard in the fucking paint, like promoting this show, never will I get there. Love you guys. Apple Podcasts. What's up? What's up? If you're watching this on YouTube, sure to leave a like, subscribe, nice little comment for the algorithm. Make sure to keep primary control in check. And I will catch you guys in the next one.